Hey y'all, welcome back to Poplar Creek Farm. It is weird. It's a weird day. It's weird outside. It's been weird the last couple days. Yesterday was pretty bad. Today is also pretty bad. You can kind of see it looks cloudy. It looks hazy. I talked about it in one of my other videos, my last video. We are getting smoke from the Canadian wildfires. Like that's the sun over there. It's just weird. The sun has looked red behind the haze and the smoke. It smells like a campground. Smells like campfire just all the time. Our air quality is actually pretty poor, and it's even to the point of not great for everybody, not just for like sensitive groups. But I need to get some work done outside today. I have really healthy lungs, so I'm not super worried about being out for a bit today. I need to get a couple things done. So we finally have been getting some rain. It's kind of, you can see it's wet. Everything's wet. Finally I've been getting some rain. Not like super consistent. Oh yeah. But some thunderstorms have rolled through. I videotaped the thunderstorms that rolled through last night. It was so weird. We ended up getting some hail with it. And it was like 5:45 and it got so dark. It was like night, like pitch black, because between the haze and then the clouds coming through, it was very weird. And it was a pretty good storm. But today, because it's wet and everything's we're starting to finally be able to actually have seeds pop up, I need to finish getting beans planted. I replanted my dragon tongue bush beans and my gold rush beans. I planted 2 rows instead of doing 1 and then in a couple weeks another, because the first rows didn't come up. So I just planted 2 rows of those the other night with the help of my daughter. And today I need to get the green beans planted, and then some of the drying beans I need to get done. But I'm also hopefully gonna get these 2 cherry trees planted because they very much need to go in the ground, and they keep getting knocked over, unfortunately, with the storms and the wind that rolls through. But I might actually be able to dig now. I've been trying to do it since I got them. You couldn't dig. There's no digging. I even tried yesterday after it had rained in the morning. Still no digging. So I'm hoping now we can dig a little bit and get these planted. So before I even bring the trees over here where I have my apple trees, my peach trees, and that's a sugar maple. That's a sugar maple. I'm gonna go ahead and actually see if I can even dig before I bring the trees over here, because I'm not gonna bring them over here where right now they are leaned up against something and secure if I can't even dig. Look at that smoke, guys. It's so crazy. So, as I suspected, I can't even talk. I didn't get very far. I'm hitting rocks that I can't get out. One of these days, when we get a little more rain, I will grab the shovel and the Texas toothpick that we have, which is like a metal rod, a really heavy metal rod, with a point on the end, and then the other end's flat, so you can like wiggle things and help break that soil up. But I'm not gonna sit here and fight it all day. I mean, they're pretty good sized trees, so you have to have a pretty good sized hole, and there's no way I'm doing that right now. I need like an auger to do it in this soil right now. One of the things I want to get planted is these ground cherries that decided they were going to germinate long after they really should have. They were started inside at the same time as my tomatoes, and they didn't germinate until after the tomatoes were hardened off. Were moved out to harden off. They decided to germinate then. This soil is so, even with it being wet, it's still pretty hard. But I'm gonna plant these, get them in the ground, to go get some more nutrients, because that soil is pretty well spent in there. And I'm not even gonna break up this one has like a couple, 2 or 3 in it. I'm just gonna put them all together, and it'll be survival of the fittest. So something that I was talking with a friend recently about, and that we both kind of concurred is the case, is that there's a massive misrepresentation of homesteading due to social media. So social media, and I mean, obviously, I too am on social media, and I too am, you know, just showing what homesteading is like. But I feel, I'm sure I don't do a perfect job of showing the realities of it, but I think I show a little bit more of the realities of homesteading than other channels do, other, you know, Instagram homesteaders, TikTok homesteaders, all those things. I think there is this misrepresentation to be that it is this beautiful, magical, just glamorous life, that it is, you know, it's like a fantasy, it's like a movie, it's not what it really is, which is a lot of work, and a lot of hardship, a lot of trial and error. I see these people, you know, representing living in the country, and they're laying in meadows and laying in fields and running through streams, and that's a lot on Instagram. YouTube is more just, I think, misrepresenting the amount of work that goes into it. They're like, oh, well, this is my perfect garden, and this is my perfect chicken coop, and this is my perfect everything. When in reality, the work that goes into it is a lot more than what they're showing. And to each their own. I mean, it is nice to just look at a really beautiful, glamorous farm and think, wow, I would love that. But then when the reality comes, I think it's a kind of a shock to a lot of people. They don't understand how much work really, truly goes into farming. I think even people I know don't understand it. There's, you know, people who I think, oh, you only work a couple days a week? Wow, that's so nice. It must be so nice to be home. It must be so nice to be able to, you know, be off most of the time. And that's not reality. I work. I'm constantly doing things. I'm planting, I'm weeding, I'm doing physical work. I'm carrying every single day, twice a day. I'm carrying food to my animals. We're moving meat chickens once a day. You know, we're collecting eggs. And that's just the normal day to day. Not even adding in the weed whacking around the pastures so that the electric fence works. Setting up new pastures, making sure that, you know, there's wallows and the wallows are full, and all the things, just mowing in here, weed whacking in here. There's so many things that go into it that you don't see necessarily because it's not glamorous to show. And I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I don't show you weed whacking my garden. I don't show you weed whacking my pastures. But that's something that has to be done. And it's something that I think is just misrepresented a lot. And I think for me, one of the things that frustrates me is, you know, showing massive, beautiful, weed-free garden spaces, or even just nicely manicured garden spaces, but not, you know, people don't necessarily understand it. I'm not saying it's like misrepresented necessarily, because sometimes the people say it, but a lot of times these people, either they have employees, or because they do YouTube, or they do TikTok, or they do, you know, they're able to make money on social media, they stay home full-time. Like, yes, I stay home some, but I also go to farmers markets. I also do work still a couple days a week as a nurse, and I don't have my spouse home all the time to help me. You know, my husband helps me as much as he possibly can. He's a massive supporter of the farm. As much as he may not love it, he supports me and helps me in every way I can. But he's not home full time. He works full time. I don't have that. To have a significant other staying home with you, to be able to help you maintain pasture, to help you maintain the garden, to help you with livestock husbandry, you know, all those things makes a massive difference and makes the work a lot easier and a lot more manageable. You know, doing it the way I do it, the fact that I do work, that my husband still works, which, you know, we have to work to make money. We have bills to pay, we have kids to feed, but doing it this way, it's not easy, and there is burnout, and it's hard, and it's exhausting, and there's days where I think, why do I do this? I love homesteading, and I would never, ever, ever discourage anybody from doing it, because I think it's such an amazing way to live. But it's not this glamorous thing that Instagram and TikTok and even YouTube sometimes make it out to be, and that frustrates me, because I think a lot of people jump into it because they think it's going to be this beautiful, glamorous life, and it's just not. It's a lot of work. it worth it? A million times over, yes. A million times, yes. But it's still a lot of work. And it's something that I just don't think people see. I think they see the glamour of it and the romantic notion of homesteading, the romantic notion of baking bread, and they don't understand it. If they're baking their family's bread, they're baking all the time. I bake multiple times a week. I make our dinners. It's a lot of work. And there's no way I could do even what I do without the support of my husband. I am very lucky that I have my husband to support me and that he does help as much as he possibly can. But again, he does work. I do have, I have neighbors that are very, very helpful. My family is supportive. They've helped me, goodness, this is still going well. We've planted things up at their property to just make more space, and they've helped me plant. And so I do have support. It's not like I'm doing this completely on my own, but the day-to-day management, the day-to-day chores, the day-to-day normal tasks that have to be done on a homestead, that's just one person. That's just me. It's not glamorous, and it's not beautiful, and it's not easy, and it's not sitting in meadows and taking pretty videos and sprawling around with my husband in streams and things you see on some of these social media sites. That's nobody's reality. I shouldn't say it's nobody's reality. Maybe it is somebody's reality. Good for them. I feel I want to gallivant around in streams and whatnot with my husband, but I guess not having to work as much would be nice. But this is reality. My farm is real. This is my real life, and this is what I do, and I do this every day. I do this work every single day. I don't get time to just sit around and take pretty videos in meadows. Or have a weed-free garden. My garden is real. This is real, but I grow real food too. And I support my family in this way. So, I don't know, maybe I'm just ranting, but it's just one of those things that frustrates me is when people have this image of what homesteading should be and what it should look like because of social media, when in reality it's not that. Yes, some of those bits and pieces are real and are true, but a lot of it is very much an act and a show for social media, for viewers. This is my real garden. This is my real life. And I think it's beautiful. I think it's weedy. I think it's a bit of a mess, but it's beautiful. And it's gonna grow me food. Now, my next task is to weed this bed. This bed is awful. And then I'm gonna weed this one and the rest of the one that I was just planting in, and then behind the beans. That's my plan, that's my goal for today, is get those done and get those planted. So green beans, black beans, cannellini beans, kidney beans is what I need to get done. That's all I'm gonna videotape today because I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna put some headphones in, just listen to some music and rock out, and hopefully not have to be out in the smoke all day. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. And I don't mean to discourage anyone from homesteading. I don't mean to discourage anyone from living this life, because I think it's absolutely incredible and it's absolutely worthwhile, and I wouldn't live any other way. I love, love, love what I do. But it is not easy and it is not perfect. And I love it. And that's the way it should be. Remember, we're growing today for a better tomorrow. Please like and subscribe and join me on the next one.